Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday, so it's time for a brand new vlog. This week, we had so much happen this week. The most recent thing is there is news that the 7.2 PTR is going up. The servers themselves aren't up right now, but there is some build information. People are data mining lots of models and info out of it. And the most important things that we know for sure are going to be available for early testing are Pet Battle Dungeons. They mentioned Pet Battle Dungeons very briefly at BlizzCon. Those 3 words were all the info that we had about it. It seems that we're very soon going to find out more. I'm actually really surprised that they're making it into the game this early. When they said Pet Battle Dungeons, I thought it was going to be like a much later thing, like possibly a future expansion thing. But it looks like this is a feature that is going to be happening in 7.2. It'll be available for testing on the PTR very soon. And I promise as soon as those servers go up, I'm getting in there and finding out what that's all about. Because right now, I still don't know. I don't know what Pet Battle Dungeons are. I don't know if they're multiplayer. I don't know what kind of achievements or rewards they are. I don't know how they work. But I do know that I'm going to be all over them. So I can't wait for that. Other things in 7.2, of course, flying is going to be coming. All the class mount models appear to be in the PTR. So you're going to finish your order campaign. There's going to be additional order campaign content added. And then you finish that. Then you get your spiffy, super shiny class mount. There's an appearance journal features being added that kind of remind me of the wardrobe helper. From the sounds of it, you'll be able to see which pieces you are missing from certain sets, like tier sets, and then be able to go and get those. And just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm really excited that that's coming up this early. I didn't expect it to be so soon after the release of 7.1.5, but yeah, 7.2 is going to be really soon. So what else happened this week? Of course, Nighthold came out, as well as the hotfix patch that contained additional class changes both for PvE and PvP. So it last Tuesday felt more like patch week than the one before it, just because this one we actually get the raid and we get the second round of changes that are hopefully going to stick for a little bit longer. So yeah, Nighthold. We did normal raid time. We're back to raiding fully 7 to 10. The 3-hour raid nights are hard for me. We've been clearing Emerald Nightmare so quickly that typically we do 2 hours on one night and then we get the other night off. So I've been doing 2 hours of raiding a week instead of 6. But having to like sit and focus and try hard for 3 hours at a time is apparently quite difficult for me. My first hour is really fun. I'm doing really well and having a good time. And then during the second hour, I start to just kind of like slow down, but I'm still working at it, but it takes more effort. And then on the third hour, I just want to go to bed. Hopefully I get more used to that as time goes on. As far as the actual raid goes, I think the fights are really cool. My favorite fight so far is probably Alisand. It's going to take a little bit more doing to actually get used to it, but I like the whole bubbles thing. It's just like a bubblegum party in there with all the different the pink and purple bubbles everywhere. So I really like Alisand. The Gul'dan fight was pretty cool. The Croesus fight was nice and, I don't want to say easy, but it was nice and simple. It's nice to have a fight like that that's just fairly straightforward. So we killed all 10 bosses on normal. We killed the first boss on heroic. And, I got my 2-piece too. I got my Shadow Priest 2-piece set. Collected. Unfortunately, it is with the worst 2 pieces of tier that I could possibly have. I didn't find that out until after because I hadn't really gone through the updated stat weights, but now that I've seen them, I see that my gloves and cape are real bad. But I mean, it's 2-piece, and I'm sure eventually I'll be able to bonus roll my way to some better tier pieces. So really happy with Nighthold so far. If you for whatever reason haven't had a chance to raid it yet, but you are planning to, I am very excited for you because it is a really cool raid, and we're probably going to be in it for a little while. So it's nice that we have some stuff to chew through. We got a whole 10 bosses. It's all in one instance, so you don't have to go do 7 bosses in Emerald Nightmare and then like hearth back and then wait while somebody got lost, like walking your dog, and then try and get everybody to the next instance. There's no transition like that. It's all in the one place. It is very trash heavy. That is the one negative thing that I will say about Nighthold. And how negative it is really depends on who you are and how you feel about trash. But there is a lot of trash, and most of it's pretty easy trash. You don't have like the Hellfire Citadel trash that has like really important mechanics that everybody needs to be awake and at their keyboards and on board for. For the most part, it's just trashy trash that you just kind of trash down and it's trashed. But there's a lot of it, so it takes a little bit of time to get between bosses, but that's okay. Related to Nighthold, so as far as videos go, I've been making Brawlers Guild guides. I'm going to continue with that. I was going to do Nighthold guides, kind of like I did for Trials of Valor, but what I didn't expect for 7.2 to come so quickly on the heels of 7.1.5, and I'm kind of sitting at my desk looking at, well, do I spend time making 10 Nighthold guides when a lot of people that were looking for those have already found, like there's a lot of really great guides out already for Nighthold. Also, all of my footage is from my guild doing it for the first time, so we're just kind of running around like chickens. This PTR is coming up, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to look at and work through on there, and I think I decided I'm not going to do Nighthold guides. I may at a later time go back and do Shadow Priest specific like tips and tricks like talking about my talent choices and different things that I like to do on each boss. I may do that at a later date. But for now, I'm not going to be going through and doing a 1 through 10 Nighthold guide. I will be finishing doing the Brawlers Guild guides. I've been really enjoying making those. And then aside from Brawlers Guild guides, and I'm starting to accumulate my data for Family Familiar, it's going to take me some time. I really want to just dig into the PTR, find out what are pet battle dungeons. Hey, kitty, what do you find? Sometimes I think the cat has something. I'll like go check just to make sure she hasn't found something she shouldn't have, and she doesn't have anything. She's just kind of catting around. Anyways, oh, bye. What else? The first micro holiday begins either today or tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow, but then somebody said it was today. I really need to take a closer look at my calendar. But the AQ event is starting very soon. Personally, just me, I'm not really super invested in it. I didn't play back in vanilla. My entire experience with Encourage is running it for Anubisath Idle Pets. So I'm not personally super invested in it, and I'm kind of overloaded on stuff to do in WoW. So I'm really glad. The thing that I really appreciate about micro holidays is that they're optional. I really don't want to have to go do something for a collector's item, and I'm glad that I don't have to. People can enjoy Encourage, but they can also not enjoy it if they're still busy with other stuff. Right now, I've been trying to keep up with the artifact power grind a little bit on my priest, a lot more so on my Alliance Resto Druid, and now I just finished getting my Horde Resto Druid tricked out with her honor talents, and I'm working on her class order hall campaign. And there's just so much stuff to do. People are all like, Hazel, why didn't you do the Suramar quest line to get your Mana Saber pet yet? Or Hazel, did you get the Nighthold boss kill for your last Falcosaur mounts? And I'm just sitting here with my single Falcosaur mount, like, this one's good. I don't need any more. I don't have any time. There's too many things to do in WoW. Especially, I think the biggest culprit of that actually is the artifact power grind. If you're getting to 54 traits, which it's starting to get to the point where that's what you gotta do. It's excessive. It is so extensive. I know it's not something they intended us to marathon through, but as somebody that is attempting to do both raiding and PvP, and I have 3 characters at 110 that I'm trying to actively play, oh my god, it's gonna kill me. It's just so much time spent doing world quests and random daily heroic, and I'm not even doing the Mythic Plus grind. I really wish I had a better timeline for when they're planning on releasing Legion Season 3 for PvP, because that'll give me an idea of how much time I have to grind those traits in my Resto Druid, and how much time I can allocate to doing other things, because I do want to have 54 traits before that season comes out. But I don't know when the season's going to be. The first season was 12 weeks long, but we're good 4 or 5 weeks into Season 2, and there are still people. I still have people that have not received their titles yet, so it's going to be really interesting to see how long the season is. And I'm just trying to catch up. And now this PTR is out, and there's just, I think it's a good problem to have. It's nice to have too much stuff to do in WoW as opposed to the end of Warlord's problem where there was not enough stuff to do in WoW. But as somebody that really enjoys filling my WoW downtime with just like practice, arena practice, I'm having a real hard time getting everything done. Speaking of arena, actually, GCD EU, the winter tournament, the European GCD TV Winter Tournament. It's airing right now, and then the finals are going to be tomorrow, Saturday. I believe they're going to be happening at 9 a.m. Pacific, which would be noon Eastern, which would be some evening-ish time in Europe. And I'm really enjoying watching a PvP tournament again. I don't think I've really sat down and watched a tournament since BlizzCon, and I really, really love watching high-end PvP. I don't know a lot of the names in this one, but I'm hoping that we continue to see them in tournaments and that I start to learn the names and find all the different people to root for and like hear gossip about them on different streams. And I just love the whole scene. So really excited to see that back up and running. The hotfix changes that went in this last Tuesday have brought PvP into a somewhat stable state that I'm actually really happy with. They did some nerfs to all of the damage specs that were doing just a little bit too much. So things like Frost Death Knights and Arcane Mages got brought down a little bit. They boosted everybody's health so that people are slightly less likely to die in a 2-second stun from 100%. And I'm just really happy with how it's sitting right now. It's not perfect, but it's playable, and I just can't wait to find some teams, because I'm having a hard time with teams right now. But I just want to find some teams and get some practice and play, and I'm really excited about that. So, questions from this week. Mr. Ninja Unicorns wants to know, how many tattoos do you have? I have 2. I have my arm tattoo, which you can't see right now because of my handy dandy new Farrah shirt. So I have my arm tattoo that you're familiar with, and then I have another one. Obviously you can't see it because of my shirt, but I've got a big maple leaf on the back of, I want to say it's this shoulder. Yeah, this shoulder. I have a big maple leaf back there, and those are my 2 tattoos. I would like to get more tattoos one day, but tattoos, or good tattoos, tend to be quite expensive, and I have so many things that I need to save my money for before I can just go like putting ink into myself. So one day I'm gonna get this arm done, but probably not anytime soon. Steve wants to know, would you spend a few minutes talking about the add-ons you use? So that's probably more than a couple of minutes conversation. What I would like to do for that, because I get add-on related questions a lot, is I want to do updated videos of my add-ons that cover what my add-ons are and what they do, but in different categories, because somebody that follows me that just raids probably doesn't care about my PvP add-ons and vice versa. I would probably break that up into pet battle add-ons. I might do an updated one of those, although I don't think it's changed or since 6.2. I think my most recent pet battle add-on video is correct. I want to sum up my PvP add-ons, I want to sum up my rating add-ons, and then I want to sum up my quality of life add-ons. There's going to be things like World Quest Tracker. As far as the user interface, I use Bartender for, I use Scada for damage tracking. I used to use Recount, but I found that Scada was just a little bit more stable, and I've just used it ever since. Scada's great. I use things like big debuffs for healing, both in PvE and PvP, but what big debuffs does is it lets me track more than 6 HOTS on the default raid frame so that I can have lots of HOTS and dots visible there, and it also gives me a really clear indicator when somebody's been sheeped or rooted or whatever, so I can get that off them really quickly. Gladius, of course, I have been using a little bit of Gladiator Lhasa just to step me over my awareness of enemy cooldowns so that I have a way to be quickly notified through sound when somebody pops like an avatar or whatever, so I don't accidentally miss it and forget to pop Ironbark. There's so many different areas of this game, and I use so many different add-ons for. Weak Ores is another great one that's just really, it's really flexible. Depending on which Weak Ores you get, you can do all sorts of different things with. So it's a long conversation over the next couple, well, probably not the next couple of weeks, but after I get done with the stuff that I currently have on my list, add-on videos are going to be next, basically, and I'll talk about that in much more detail in a more category-focused manner, if that makes any sense. Elise wants to know, I wondered if you had a list in one place of the pets you use for the Broken Owl Pet World quests. If not, would you consider creating one? And while I'm wishing, another list with the pets used for Tiny Terrors of Tanan. So I don't have like a comprehensive list. You'd probably need more of a spreadsheet, honestly, of these are the pets I used for X and Y thing. What I do have is I made a top 10 list that was the top 10 most frequently used pets. So you could probably get those pets and then combine them with the pets you have and be able to get through the world quests. I'm hesitant about making like lists like that. People have asked for them and they're probably a good idea, but it just feels kind of... It feels like my way of doing the pet battle quests is not the only way, and it may not even be the most efficient way as far as how many pets you have. Because I have so many pets at my disposal, whenever I'm trying to make a 2-pet strategy for a world quest, I have lots and lots of stuff to try. But you could probably get by using a smaller overall number of pets. So what I'm basically trying to say is I could make a list that just has the pets that I use in my videos, but it might be a significantly longer list than the pets that you could use with different strategies. So I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. It's not off the table, but it's not something I have immediate plans for. And then I do have that one video that is the pets that I used most in Legion. I don't have anything like that for Tiny Terrors of Tanan, and honestly, the Tiny Terrors of Tanan videos, or the Tiny Terrors of Tanan guides, for the most part, need a bit of adjusting. I started adjusting them, but then I got caught up in the 7.15 stuff, because a lot of them relied on Howl Bomb, which then got nerfed. There are not too many people actively doing those at this time, so it's just not the top of my plate. It's on the list, but the list has a lot of stuff on it, and it's kind of shaken down towards the bottom of it. Caffey Junkie asks, Hazel, can you make a short guide on Shadow Priest? I want to play a ranged class, and I don't know which one. I just played melees until now. So if you're talking about for raiding, for PvE, I can do that, and I probably will. It's probably going to be at least another week or two before I really get comfortable with my optimal stat weights, talent choices for different fights, and rotation in such a way that I can explain it correctly. I'm still experimenting with different builds for different fights and in different situations and trying to figure out what does the most damage. And then it's also very legendary dependent. As far as overall just picking a ranged class, I would just pick one that you really like the class fantasy of, and then learn how to play it once you get to that point. If you want to switch to Shadow Priest, I can make a guide to help you get started. But in the meantime, I definitely recommend checking out the website How To Priest. If you just Google How To Priest, you're going to find all their info. And that's where I do all of my Shadow Priest learning. That's where I read all my guides and get my weak auras and get my stat weights and theory crafting. That's the hub for priest info. So I definitely recommend you check out their website if you are looking at getting into Shadow Priest. But I will probably make a short summary once I'm a little bit more comfortable with the most recent changes in 7.1.5. And then Beer Cake asks, even though it's a difficult question, what is your favorite pet in WoW and which is the cutest? My favorite pet is probably, people ask me a lot and I'm really afraid that I'm changing my answer every time because my answer kind of does change. But Green Wing Macaw is always a classic just because that was my first pet and it's just a little cute little green and red bird. Something about that bird just does it for me. And then the cutest pet would be the Coastal Sandpiper. It's a new Legion Wild pet. Check it out in your pet journal. Just look up Coastal Sandpiper if you haven't already. It's adorable. It's got like the big eyes. It's kind of like Chi-Chi, but it looks more like an actual bird. And I just want to just give it hugs, except not too tight because it would probably snap because it's just like a little bird. And that has been my week. If you have questions you would like answered on a vlog, just leave them as comments on the most recent vlog. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.